Hey guys, it's Hidden Gems here. I know it's been a while since my last video, but this is something I've been wanting to do for quite some time. Now, I left a hint in my last video, and I don't know, let's see if any of you guys caught it. Put it in the comments below if you want to, if not. But I'm sure you guys figured out. I'm going to be talking about Turok, but not the game franchise, believe it or not, although it is directly connected to the game franchise, and not the comic franchise. This is the Valiant comic #1 again, and not even the Acclaim comics, which were directly connected to the games and were supposedly a prequel. But something I didn't know about until about a year and a half ago. But yep, there is a Turok novel series. Now it's written as a young adult book series. It's considered a young adult book series, and these are incredibly difficult to find. I know I looked a few weeks ago. There's a few other listings on eBay for these, but these are really hard to come by. These were never reprinted, as far as I understand. They were just printed once, and they're supposed to be, obviously it's a tie-in. They were tie-ins for Turok 2. And they're supposed to be prequels. I think the whole series is supposed to be a prequel to Turok 2, but I looked into on the Turok wiki, and supposedly they're not canon. I don't know. To me, at least this first one, which is the main one I'm going to be reviewing, I couldn't find the other books. Well, that's not exactly true. I did find a copy of the second book. It was, I lost it in a move, my last move here. So sadly, I'm only going to be able to review the first book. The third and the fourth books, for whatever reason, are ridiculously expensive. I'm not really sure why. I'm guessing they probably had a lower print run. These first two books are pretty cheap. It's kind of hard to find, but cheap. I think I only paid like a few dollars for this one, and I paid a few bucks for the second one, which maybe it'll turn up one day. Seeds of Evil, yeah, that's the name of the second one, which is odd that they reused that title from the game, but anyway. So first, before I get into the book, I just kind of want to talk about Turok as a whole, and kind of my experience with it. I kind of like to do that to give this a different spin, and since it's not just me reading a Wikipedia article. But yeah, I played. Okay, so the original Turok Dinosaur Hunter, my stepdad had a copy of it. I think it came with his video card back when the maybe Voodoo 2 or Voodoo 3, old fart PC gamers will know what I'm talking about. But I think it was a pack-in, and I can remember it ran like crap for whatever reason on his PC. So I can only get through the first level, but I remember playing that and just being completely floored by the graphics. Which is funny, I had an N64, but I never actually I didn't play the original Dinosaur Hunter fully on N64 till way later, till I bought an N64 like years and years later as an adult, at a pawn shop or something. But that first level, I remember thinking that was the coolest thing. Maybe it was just a demo. I think it was the full game. Maybe it was the demo. But regardless, I was hooked. And then I remember my stepbrother, he brought over Turok 2 on N64. That's that awesome black cartridge, which I don't have. Again, when I bought that N64 at the pawn shop, I got a gray cart, which I couldn't find it. I know I have it. It's in my mess in my closet. But that's why I just grabbed Evolution. But yeah, we played the crap out of the multiplayer on that, which to this day I still think the multiplayer for Turok 2 is more fun than the GoldenEye multiplayer. I know that's probably sacrilege. I mean, honestly, I think Turok 2 in general is better than GoldenEye, but the multiplayer on that is so much fun. So my neighborhood friends and my stepbrother and I played the crap out of that. And then, yeah, I guess that's kind of my childhood journey with it. And then I kind of rediscovered it as an adult. Like I said, when I bought that N64 at the pawn shop, it came with Turok 1 and 2, and then I finally sat down and played the campaigns. And then I just got sucked into that universe. And I never knew, honestly, I never knew it was a comic book series. I mean, it's been multiple comic book series. This is just the Valiant. This was the Valiant series that came out before the game. Great series, actually. This is probably the best Turok. If you're going to read one Turok comic series, this would probably be the one I'd recommend. The later ones get kind of, I'm not going to get into it, but they're really hit or miss. This one's consistently good. I mean, I've read almost this entire series, and it's great, honestly. This is a fantastic comic. It was sadly, never reprinted. I'm hoping with, since Valiant's they're doing movies now, and they're becoming a lot more well-known now. They're doing the Bloodshot movie with Vin Diesel. Hopefully, if that takes off, Valiant starts reprinting all their old books. I'd like to get Bloodshot too, and a bunch of their other stuff. But anyway, so then, like I said, I kind of got sucked in. Going back to what I was saying, I got sucked into the universe. Started read through the Valiant series. I collected these all individually because that's the only way you can read them. I mean, you can read them online, but I prefer paper. And then I did collect some of the Acclaim comics, and I've got way more. I mean, Acclaim didn't do that many Turok comics. I looked into it. There's only, I think they did like a mini series. It was like 4 books, and then they did a bunch of one shots like this. This is one of the first one shots I think they did. Spring Break in the Lost Land, and it's okay. The Acclaim comics are kind of there's one really good one, which is actually, it's literally like I don't know what you would call it, but it's kind of like I have it. It's got toys. It's got toy ads in. I mean, the first chunk of it it's literally like a straight prequel, which I'll get into it more when I talk about this. It's very similar to this, a little different. Art's really great, and then it's got like little breakdowns of all the enemies and stuff at the end. It's got like a little explanation of the different dinosaurs and stuff, which is really cool. And I think some of them even were deleted. Like there's stuff in there that's deleted from the game. I might quickly, if I can, I'll pull it up and edit it into the video or something. But it's really interesting. But anyway, it's part of this series. It's supposedly all the Acclaim comics are canon. This, I think Acclaim said it wasn't canon, so I don't know, it fits to me. But once I get into that, I'll explain where it does and it doesn't. But anyway, as I was saying, I took the chance. The video ran out. I took the chance to improve my lighting a little bit. So, as I was saying, Turok is a franchise that holds very near and dear to my heart. And actually, I think I found, while I was resetting up the lighting and everything, I found the actual Turok disc that my stepdad had. It's for Voodoo. It's a, if you look, it's even got the Voodoo 3D effects junk all over it. It was for an Intergraph video card. I guess that was the brand. Anyway, so yeah, any other '90s kid, I'm sure, will know the name Turok. The first 2 games were such huge hits. I like the sequels. I like 3 and even Evolution. Obviously, you can see I bought it on Xbox. I think they're all great. I think I'll admit the first 2 are the best. Anybody watching this that doesn't know anything about Turok, play the first 2 games. Read the Valiant comics. And the old Gold Key comics. I should have mentioned that. He's a much older character than most people I know, even myself. I never knew this. Pretty sure He was in Gold Key Comics from back in the 50s. I think he was created in 1954, somewhere around there. I think the guy that created him sadly passed away a couple years ago, actually, I think. So he's a really old character that didn't become probably mega popular, obviously, till the games. But anyway, so that's kind of my overview of the franchise. And now I'll get into the book, which was obviously why most of you are probably here. Anyway, so the book is basically a prequel to Turok 2. It's Joshua Fireseed, which for some reason they made him look like a little kid on the cover of this, but he's supposed to be the same age he is in Turok 2, which I think he's supposed to be 17, 18. Let's see, I don't know how they put him in this. But anyway, it's a prequel, so you learn. Actually, the first couple chapters are actually his uncle. They're actually from they're from the perspective of his uncle, who was the Turok before him. And again, that's something I should mention. That I know other people mention this, but Turok is actually not a name; it's a title. I think in the old Gold Key comics it was his name, but in the modern version of Turok, it's not his name; it's just a title. Turok is the name of the defender of the Earth. It's something that's passed on. It's kind of like it's like the Dalai Lama or like something like that. It's not the person's actual name. It's just the title. It's a title that they have to earn. And so at the beginning of the book it's the title moving from Joshua's uncle. I can't remember his name. I think they give him a name here. I think Carl Fireseed. Yeah, it goes from he died. Spoilers, obviously. I mean, that's not really much of a spoiler. He dies, passes the mantle on to Joshua, and most of the book is him. The first chunk of the book is him kind of grappling with that, dealing with that, and it's actually pretty well written, honestly. I mean, this is considered, like I said, this is considered a young adult novel. It's written pretty well for a young adult novel. I mean, I honestly think young adult novels back. That's what I like about older younger adult novels. They didn't treat the readers like kids. I mean, it's not written like super deep prose, but they write it. They don't talk. The author doesn't talk down to you. I mean, there's a little bit here and there, and there's a little bit of onomatopoeia here and there. You know, boom. You know, and zap, bam. You know, every once in a while. You know, for gunfire and things like that. But he doesn't talk down to you. I mean, you see his uncle dying. His uncle. I mean, it gets pretty gory, honestly, for a young adult book. There's, you know, he's coughing up blood, and he's got, you know, he gets, I think, attacked by a dinosaur, so he's ripped, you know, his chest is all bleeding, and he goes and, you know, explains all the, you know, the details of that, you know, so it's not, I would probably not recommend it to a little kid. I'd probably say at least 10. I mean, I'd say for 10, you could probably handle it, 10 and up. But anyway, I mean, that's kind of an amusing thing. It's an M-rated game, but anyway. So basically, the first. Oh, and I should mention, there's another character who's actually also in the cover of this book. His buddy, I can't remember his name right now. Barry. Yeah, his friend Barry, who's on the cover of this. That's his buddy from college, who also gets sucked into. Okay, well, I should move forward, I guess. Basically what happens is his uncle dies, gives him the title, and gives him he's in this satchel, which is kind of like in the in-game universe explained it, like that's how he's able to carry around all of his weapons, is he has this magical satchel, the light burden, I think is what it's called. It's this magical satchel where he can keep all of his guns and all of his equipment and stuff in. He actually opens it up, looks inside, he gets sucked in, his friend, his sister, all get sucked in, which I think, if I remember correctly, his sister in this is you actually you play as her in the third game, which is interesting, which is a really cool little connection to, they were obviously probably planning out the story for 3 while they were writing. I mean, I'm assuming while they were doing 2. So it's kind of interesting that she's a part of this. Her, Barry, Turok get sucked into the Lost Land. Basically, most of the book is them just kind of running. That's kind of where it goes a little off the rails. Is it just kind of the middle of the book is just them kind of running around like avoiding dinosaurs, and then the last chunk of the book is basically them. They finally meet up with. There's a really cool scene where they meet up with some of the dinosaur. There's like friendly dinosaurs that they meet. That they have to, they basically go into the leader goes into the song speech, we're being attacked by, the Primogen, and he's just, he's coming in and his troops are coming in and killing everybody, and so Joshua, Barry, and Allison, I think is their name, yeah, Allison, basically, he just pulls all these guns out of the light burn. He gets like a minigun, he gets a minigun, he gives Barry a pistol or a shotgun, gives Allison a gun, and then they just lay waste to like the dinosaurs that come into this village, and it's pretty awesome out there. It felt like a really cool like shootout from one of the games, so it was really, that part was really well done. And then I think they kind of move into the ending, which is them, and this is probably the part where it kind of breaks canon. Is well, I guess it doesn't necessarily break canon, but anyway, they the leader, of the village says, thank you, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, okay, now, there's this, there's another problem. There's this guy, the campaigner, which people that played the first game know that the campaigner was the end boss of the first Turok. And I think there is a throwaway line that it's a title. Again, it's like Turok, it's a title. It's not, I think they even do connect it. The author, Michael Teitelbaum, I think is his name, connected it to the original Turok game because there's a line, the old campaigner was defeated. This is a new campaigner. So the end of the book is them basically going, he challenges the campaigner. He fights a few different dinosaurs, I think none of which are in any of the games. But he fights a few different dinosaurs, and then then he goes, okay, now we're gonna fight, and then the book kind of leaves on a cliffhanger, which obviously a lot of young adult books do that. They want you to buy the next book, but excuse me. Overall, I didn't think it was bad. I mean, it was. It's a real short read. I mean, I read it in like. You could easily read it in one sitting. I think I read it in 2 pretty short sittings. It's only 159 pages. I mean, I would say, I probably wouldn't go out of your way unless you're a real hardcore Turok person like I am. If you find it at a flea market or like a used bookstore or whatever for cheap, though, no, it's a no-brainer. I mean, even if you're not, I would say even if you're not a Turok fan, if you're just kind of a fan of like pulp, honestly, it feels like a pulp novel. It feels like a kind of a fun, just little goofy, little adventure. I appreciated the connect. I really, I really appreciated the connections, though. Obviously, the author, at least he might not play the games, but he at least read summaries of the plots because he did a really good job. He did do a pretty good job connecting it to Turok 1 and Turok 2. So, yeah. No, I didn't think it was bad. And plus, you get there's a cool little flip. I don't know if you're going to see in the video here. See if I can. There's a little thing. Yep, a little flip of him becoming Turok. So, there's that. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'll probably do, if I can hunt down the other books, I'd like to do reviews of the other ones, but for now, this is probably just going to be my overall Turok novel series review. Yeah, so that's it. See you next time.